And welcome to coverage of Grand Prix Albuquerque. Marshall Sutcliffe in the booth with Randy Buehler, and we're in the semifinals. Mono Black versus Mono Blue, Owen Turtenwald versus Valentin Mackl, and no plays on turn one for Valentin there.
Yeah, this matchup is really what the whole GP has boiled down to.
Yeah, it really
Coming
is.
into the weekend, there's Pack Rat from Owen. Coming into the weekend, there were
Wow.
6, 7, 8 different viable decks in Standard. Nobody knew quite what was going to work. Owen and his group felt really good about this Mono Black Devotion deck, and looks like they were right. You've got the Mono Blue that won the Pro Tour. You've got the Mono Black, which seems like the new hotness.
Mm-hmm.
The other semifinal, also Mono Blue versus Mono Black. So.
All right, here we go. Owen Turtenwald, no play for the turn, simply ships back to his opponent, who's got a Frostburn Weird and a couple of islands on the battlefield here. Third one. Now,
No blocks.
all right, it says no blocks,
19.
no pumps
Yeah.
either. So take one.
Owen looks like he's on the Pack Rat plan.
It does look like that. Incredibly tough to deal with, though Mackl does have access to Cyclonic Rift, and he's even got one in his hand here. That's just not going to come into play until it's too late, though, right?
Probably true.
I mean, 7? That's a lot of mana.
Yeah, it seems like Nightfell Spectre's to play.
For now, yeah.
I guess he's debating that versus Thassa. So Mackl is one of the players who ran this Mono Blue Devotion deck at Pro Tour Theros. He's part of the Team Revolution, sort of mostly European-based team that MTG Madness sponsors. Flew over, he is European, flew over here to try to put up another GP result, and so far so good.
Hey, good for
here
him.
he sits in the semifinals. Unfortunately, waiting for him in the semifinals is the winner of the last GP,
Yes.
Owen Turtenwald, trying to go back-to-back, which hasn't been done very often.
No. All right, so Owen makes a Pack Rat on end step, and this is going to enable his attacks. He's going to make another Pack Rat and just have Valentin take 6.
Yep.
He even ditches a Thoughtseize that he could have played here. No, he's going to activate Mutafold, so you take 8 instead and drop down to 12, putting potentially lethal damage up for next turn for Owen.
Yeah, I think Mackl's plan was to go Nightfell Spectre here, turning on Thassa, but that seems too slow.
That's just way too slow.
Hit me. I mean, whatever. 5 power indestructible. Have you seen my Pack Rats?
Right.
Yeah, Owen's essentially threatening to hit with what? Those Pack Rats will be 5/5s if he does the same trick. Makes one and makes a Mutavault. So the 3 Brats can easily hit for 15. Owen might play a land to send in Mutavault in addition. With Mackl on 12, the 2 is relevant, and he knows he's going to activate Mutavault.
That's right. Additionally, Owen Turtenwald, if Mackl decides to play something like a Nightveil Spectre, if he has a removal spell for it, he could just kill it and attack with his Pack Rats, because that would take
Also
Thassa
true.
back off and make the the Frostburn Weird not a great blocker for a horde of 4/4s.
God, Pack Rat is so scary.
This is just nasty, right? I mean, this is
Mackl's draw is decent, right?
It's totally decent. Look at
Frostburn
this.
Weird into Thassa, into, Jace, and he had Nightveil Spectre as an option too. I mean, he's got mana, he's got his choice of spells. Owen has he even played a second spell? He's just played Pack Rat?
Just Pack Rat. He's ditched Thoughtseize and an Underworld Connections.
Good enough.
And he has an overwhelming board presence. Thassa is active currently, and Owen.
Oh, Jace got plussed, so that
wow.
helps.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Second
But
Mutavault.
Owen has 2 Mutavaults, and he also has the removal spell here, so he can make Thassa not active via 2 different methods.
Downfall.
Okay. Last back-to-back GP champion. Okay.
Wow, and that's it. Owen Turtenwald just takes game 1 off of a card. We can yell
Crazy.
now, right?
We're trying not to get too excited because the players aren't too far away.
Oh, I
But
see.
yeah,
Okay.
that was an
Just to be
exciting game.
courteous. Okay, sure.
That was an exciting game. Owen Turtenwald has the removal spell, kills the Nightveil Spectre, which turns off the Thassa, so it's just Frostburn Weird. And you know what? Those Pack Rats and those that Mutavault, lethal.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is mine.
They're checking out each other's deck lists here. We see Owen Turtenwald. We've seen him a bunch. I've had him in the booth, did a deck tech with him. He's been all over this entire tournament. He really does feel like he had the deck for
Excalibur.
the tournament. Yeah, lined up, and he is proving it here. You see that last bullet point there first. Grand
Last
Prix
weekend.
Washington, D.C. That was just 7 days ago.
Different-
that I
different
was
format.
sitting in this booth talking with Owen as he was holding the trophy for the first time at a GP.
You may get to talk to him again.
Yeah, insane.
So last time somebody won back-to-back GPs?
When was that?
Yuya Watanabe.
Oh, jeez.
He had that crazy run a couple
Yeah,
years ago.
that was in 2011.
Yeah, sounds
Yeah.
right.
The same year that Owen won Player of the Year, by the way.
That was a tough year.
Indeed. Take a look at their sideboards here.
Right. So we saw
Yeah.
this matchup in the quarterfinals.
And
we saw Paul bring in Freakus Cure. I assumed Owen will as well.
Mm-hmm.
Paul left in his Thought Seizes.
Mm-hmm.
Dark Betrayal seems relevant for killing Night Veil Spectre, but I'm not sure that we ever saw that out of Paul. So
Now on the
maybe
other
there's just
side,
not enough targets to justify bringing it in.
absolutely possible. On the other side, Valentin Mackl, he has the ability to go big with 2 Aetherling.
Right. I
couple
think
more
that's probably the
Jaces.
control plan.
Okay.
Bring in another Nykthos, bring in some Aetherlings. Don't think that's the plan here. I don't think he's got time.
Okay.
Domestication seems relevant.
It does.
I mean, stealing
Steal it, you can do
Night Veil
stuff.
Spectre seems really powerful.
Yes.
I need
4 mana makes it a little bit on the slow side, but
Do you bring in the other rapid hybridizations just to kill a pack rat before it gets out of control? I mean, that can't
Wow.
make you happy, but look what happened.
yeah.
Owen played a spell.
Yep. Oh, result from the other semifinal. Sam Pardee up a game.
Over Todd Anderson.
Yes. So blue strikes first in that match. Black strikes first here.
Yeah. Man, this top 8 is filled with Grand Prix grinders here. I mean, look at this thing. Sam Pardee, he's won one. Todd Anderson was in the top 8 of the last standard GP. Owen Turtenwald won the last GP. And Valentin Mackl has, I believe, 2 other top 8s, including Miami and Valencia. So a lot of GP top 8s sitting right here in the top 4. And interestingly, we have the same matchup going on both semifinal matches. We have mono black versus mono blue.
Yeah.
The left side of our feature match area is the mono black side.
Funny.
Yeah.
Pretty good weekend all in all. We haven't really talked much about the standings below the top 8, but if you haven't had a chance to check them out on the website, I don't even know if they're posted on the website yet, but Matt Sperling did get 9th.
He did.
He was the only 37-pointer to miss. He had the win, but tried to do the thing that was in his and Paul Riesel's best interest, offered a draw that would probably give Sperling 9th and Riesel 8th. Maybe his friend leaps him on tiebreakers. He said he could live with that. He'll have to.
He's sitting right over there living with that right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So hopefully he was telling the truth.
Rest of the top 16, a lot of good names. Patrick Cox, Joe Demestrio with that Boros burn deck. Patrick Cox was on White Weenie, right?
Yes.
Boros. Ben
Correct.
Johnson, Dustin Ochoa. Tom Martell had this mono black deck similar to Owen's.
And Tom picked up a top 16 here.
Did
right?
pick up a top 16. Josh McClain, Marcel Strauts is the rest of the top 16. Again, the 36s kept going. Seth Manfield, Andrew Smith, Corey Burkhart, Alan Wu, all also sitting on 1 point from the top 8.
Yep.
Andrew Cuneo put up 21st place, following up his top 8 in DC last weekend.
He was playing straight blue-white.
Yeah. His take on control was, I don't want the black mana.
Yeah.
Give me better mana. I don't want to lose to Burning Earth. I'll just be blue-white and make that work. And he made it work pretty well. 21 points. Ben Lundquist got 26th. Froelich and Jensen both got top 32s. They're sitting 28, 29. I know LSV just missed top 64. Wound up in 66th place. Jackie Lee got 61st. Josh Utter-Layton got 58th. Pretty good weekend.
Yeah. Oh, it was a great weekend
Yeah.
here.
Shahar Shenhar did not make top 64. He wound up 70th. And Kibler wound up dropping. He and Chapin both kind of crashed and burned with that black-green deck today. Did not seem like the right deck for this field. It's a little bit surprising. I know Kibler's had a lot of success with that.
Yeah. It looked like a solid build, too. Good diverse threats, good diverse amount of answers in it, but just maybe not the power level. Maybe it was a little too, I put some counters on my guy, where other people are just like devotioning for 7 or whatever and doing kind of broken things.
16 to 15.
More than you can count, or you're still counting them?
You can see Owen's ranked 16th on the top 25 pro rankings right now, but he'll be jumping up that list
Yeah.
for sure. Picking up some pro points just from where he's sitting right now, but
Seems like there's
His
probably
eyes are on the
aggro
prize.
builds that are good against these, right? I mean, is that the way you start testing? Maybe those White Weenie
Yes.
decks were like a week early.
yeah, well, the question becomes how, so the game 1 against Mono Black, for example, is quite good for those aggro decks, but the game 2, it
The
seems
Shrivels.
to really take a hit. The
Shrivel,
Shrivels, the
Freakus Cure, yeah.
Cures. Yeah, those just, the Mono Black deck can switch into a full-on creature control deck so easily. It just slips right into that role.
I mean, the White Weenie deck can beat Shrivels if it was still playing Spear of Heliod. You can potentially shut down Shrivel.
That's right. And we've seen one or two of those floating around, but they've really been eschewed in favor of a Johnny.
Right, right. Interestingly, I talked to, well, I guess we're getting started here.
Yeah, why don't we take a look at what Owen's looking at here. Not enough lands, I think. Well, no, that's a land. And we'll let Owen decide. I believe he might be mulling this one. And Valentin keeps, and they both keep. All right, so we have 2 keeps here.
Off to the races.
Now we do have a 1-drop with a Judge's Familiar there for Owen. A little F&M promo action there. Sorry, not for Owen, for Valentin. Owen's turn now, though. He's going to lead off with Temple of Deceit. Ship that to the bottom. And pass a turn back. All right. So Valentin's on the play here. And he gets to attack for 1. What's his turn 2? Is he going to put a couple of blue mana symbols on the battlefield? He does.
Pretty much what he does on turn 2.
Indeed. Frostburn Weird.
Dude, I swear to God, before this tournament,
Pass the turn back. Swamp off the top for Owen. He had another swamp in his hand too, as well, though. And Pack Rat turn 2 again for Owen Turtenwald. And I mean, he's asked the ultimate question.
This is how game 1 worked out.
Yes. Now I do see that a little bit too slow, perhaps. There's a domestication in Valentin Mackl's hand.
Yeah, it doesn't beat Pack Rat.
It doesn't beat Pack Rat, especially because Valentin can't make his own.
Right, no black mana.
Though, does Valentin run Temple of Deceit in his deck?
No.
Okay, so he has no option.
What is the 3 mana card, the shiny one? Is it Thassa?
I cannot tell. It's that or Nightveil Spectre.
Right.
And Owen has the 3rd land drop, but he's going to decide not to make a Pack Rat this time. That makes me think that it's
Nightveil Spectre, so Owen wants to block Nightveil
He wants
Spectre.
to be
That
able
makes
to
sense.
block it. So those are going to face off against each other indefinitely.
Right, they're just set to bounce.
Right, and then he can start Pack Ratting, but if Valentin wants to use his domestication here.
Ooh, and Valentin also has Nykthos, which now activates for 5.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 actually. Name blue.
Yeah,
1,
6.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, there's domestication on Nightveil Spectre.
As we know, black doesn't have any ways to deal with enchantments, so that thing is going to be there. And he's going to pump with the rest.
Sure.
And get in there. So a big turn for
Wow.
Valentin Mackl.
Yeah, that Pack Rat is not fast enough.
Ye old 2-for-1, still good.
Control magic, yes,
Yep.
turns out still good.
Yep.
sure. So I take 4, 5, 6, 7.
And he's going to take 7 damage here. Drop him down to 10, and Valentin Mackl has
And
put
gets a card.
huge pressure on his opponent. Hey, there's a swamp. Another Nightveil Spectre for Owen Turtenwald off the top.
Oh, he can also get black mana from Nykthos.
Right,
He can use the devotion off of. He can choose black, and he's got 3 devotion counters off the Nightveil Spectre.
Not super relevant anymore, but interesting.
Yeah, I mean, domestication Pack Rat is not the plan. Domestication Nightveil Spectre is the plan, and that is exactly what he's done.
We opted for the blow.
Well, here's another one. Still a pretty good blocker.
There's no way I would have won 2 of my matches.
Has Valentin got more gas?
Your topic pairings are about to be posted. You can come to the stage if you're not to receive your product.
Valentin's doing math. That can't be good for Owen.
That can you never want to see your opponent counting like that.
What are you at? 10? All right. No, he's doing Nykthos math. That's
Yeah.
not as scary.
Okay, so he's got
3, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, I think. Oh, Cyclonic Rift.
Cyclonic Rift. And Owen picks up his 2 non-land permanents, and he's going to be picking up all of his permanents in a minute here as Valentin Mackl. I don't know that he
2,
quite
4,
has lethal.
5. I think it's 8. I think it puts him at 2.
Okay. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, Owen,
7, 8,
that's
9,
enough.
And Owen says, all right,
No, good
there
enough.
aren't any cards left for me. All right, so we're going to get a game 3 here.
We
in
are
the
gonna get a game 3.
semifinals. Valentin Mackl off the back of a domestication with just a huge swing there. is able to take over, even though Owen had a similar start that he did in the first
Yeah,
game with the pack.
did Owen play first in the first game? It's high
Yes.
seed plays first, isn't it?
It is high seed plays first.
But Mackl was the 7. Yeah, Owen was the 6, and Mackl was the 7.
There you go.
So Owen got to play first. So that pack rat coming out on the play was just a lot faster, taking control of the board. Also, there was no domestication on Nightveil Spectre.
Right.
But I mean, the combination of those made it just a blowout in Mackl's direction.
So we've had 2 not particularly close games.
Yeah, that's one of the things that can happen in this standard. There are definitely some draws that are just blowouts.
Including the ones that have a pack rat in them, it seems.
But not all the ones that have a pack rat.
Correct.
Sometimes your pack rat is too slow.
Players are looking right now at their opponent's deck list. So this is done in the interest of integrity for the tournament. It does lead to a little bit of, it's a little weird to have completely perfect information right in front of you.
Yeah, I
like this,
kind of
but
wish you didn't have to share deck lists.
I do too.
But you do.
I also wouldn't want it the other way, so this is the lesser.
Yeah, there
of
was
the
one
evils.
point in the Pro Tour, I don't know, 10 years ago or so,
Uh-huh.
where the deck lists were not exchanged for events like this,
Okay.
and so pro teams had these elaborate scouting networks. Like literally, like your team members who'd been knocked out of the tournament would be walking around with like a printout of the standings and writing deck names by everybody's deck and key cards, and like you don't want
That
that
is
to be
not
a
what you
thing,
want,
right?
yeah.
When the best teams are the teams that have the best scouting networks. You know,
Yeah.
the most people who scrub out and can be sent to on a mission to gather information to get tiny edges later in the tournament.
Yeah, that leads to some strange incentives, and it also just doesn't make it very welcoming for somebody who's trying to be an up and
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
So
It
this is
feels a
definitely
little
better
snam.
than that.
So 3 down to 10.
You can see in the background there's Brian David Marshall and Toby Elliott, our head judge for the event. Taking a look at our secondary semifinal match between Sam Pardee and
Todd
Todd
Anderson.
Anderson.
They in game 2, I think.
They are. Sam Pardee was up a game. Honestly, both of them, though, clearly want to win the tournament, but getting to this point,
The
was a
quarterfinal matches were the
huge
biggest
hurdle.
matches for them.
Yeah.
I mean, these are both sort of, on again, off again Pro Tour
Yeah.
players who really wanted that seat in Valencia.
And they both earned it here,
Yep, absolutely they did.
especially for Sam Pardee, who looks to be chaining together a few silver qualifications so that he can qualify for multiple events. All right, so you guys can take a look at the sideboards as well. We were talking about that between games 1 and 2. All right, I just saw BDM grab his phone, which he's telling me that Todd Anderson looks like he's way behind here.
Yeah.
Yeah, as BDM, he's a very eloquent human being. He said Todd is about to die. So he's letting us know that he's way behind on board and that Sam Pardee is in a commanding position back there.
There's the
And
handshake.
We see an extended hand right on camera there. So we have one finalist, Sam Pardee with mono blue.
I don't even know if I would want to.
He's
But
in 2-0 over
Who
Todd
will
Anderson.
his opponent be? Is it going to be a mono blue mirror match? Or is it going to be Owen trying to win back-to-back? Those are your options.
It's going to be Owen.
You think?
Yeah.
I mean, if I had to place a bet, that's certainly the side I would favor.
Yeah, I mean, he's on the play this time.
He's on the play.
You know.
He's a great player with a great deck.
He is. I mean, Valentin Mackl has proven himself to be perfectly capable of picking up wins against anybody in the field.
True.
But that's Owen Turtenwald, and he's got it right now.
Not just anybody.
Yeah. Being on the play, though, is also quite nice, you know.
It helps.
Yeah.
Team Revolution had a pretty good showing this weekend. There are a number of players here.
They're really, they're kind of making a stand.
There are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
big
it's-
stand at the PT.
Indeed.
Both players in the finals.
And it's tempting to take the kind of, what Mackl's going to mulligan.
An immediate mulligan from Mackl and a quick keep from Owen Turtenwald.
I mean, Star City and Channel Fireball have both been doing so well recently that
We
it
almost
can be
get
easy to
used to
take that
it.
Americentric view of those
Yeah.
as the two big teams, but there's more than two big teams in the world right now. Though apparently MTG Madness needs to make sleeves. This is clearly a lost opportunity, right? Channel Fireball sleeves on their Team Revolution player.
Yeah. Yeah, they're still working out the kinks. I'm sure Channel Fireball's okay with it. Those are pretty cool sleeves. All right, trying to get a look at Owen's hand, and he's got a bunch of removal. He has a Doomblade, a Devour Flesh, and a Hero's Downfall in his hand. I believe 3 swamps and then a card I couldn't see.
Good enough.
Good enough.
I don't care what the 7th card is.
Yeah.
I'm happy with my hand.
Yeah, I agree. So interesting. You know, Owen's going to have to find a way to get some pressure going eventually, but he can really just sit back and 1 for 1, right?
Right.
I mean, plus the more he does that, the better it is for him, because the really important cards from Valentin become a lot worse. Biden of Thassa, it's herself, you know, all get a lot worse with no creatures on the battlefield.
Right. I mean, Owen needs a plan to eventually win the game. I mean, that draw, Mackl's best draws will beat that draw. But Mackl's also on the mulligan, so.
Right. On the mulligan, on the draw, with the aggressive deck that, you know, doesn't have that big early game punch that some of the true aggro decks have, but it trades it off for some resilience in the mid range and the ability to just refill your hand like nobody's business, and also attack from an interesting and hard to deal with angle with Thassa later in the game.
Right.
Might be a Spectre for his last card. I can't quite see. Oh, maybe it's a Gray Merchant or something like that. We'll have to just wait. Is this a keep for Valentin? Hands on the face.
Yeah, it looks like a trip into the tank. Deep in thought, that's what that is. Is that 1 land? Is that what's going on?
He's kept it. All
He
right.
has kept it?
Owen Turtenwald, no Thoughtseize, turn 1.
Just drew a 2nd Spectre. I only saw, it's Island Familiar. I think it's,
Is it
there's
a
no more
one-lander?
land. It was a
Okay.
1-lander.
All right.
1 land drawing at 6. Can't blame him.
Devour Flesh you.
Yeah, Owen just wants to trade. Trade card for card. I'm up a card.
Yep. Owen drew an ultimate price for
let's
the
trade.
turn. So he has a Doomblade ultimate price.
Oh, and yeah,
Hero's
Mackle ships
Downfall.
with only 1 land in play.
All right, so now how quickly can Owen Turtenwald, or he has a Thoughtseize this turn, and we see triple Frostburn Weird, double Spectre, and I believe a Tidebinder Mage on the bottom there.
It's a full house.
He does have...
Yeah, he's got Frostburns full of Nightfall
He
Specters.
does indeed.
Weirds full of Specters.
Unfortunately, he can't cast any of them right now.
No. Just Owen
And-
takes a weird.
Yeah, he's
I
just going
guess.
to take one of his 2-drops
Not
away
the best
here.
Thoughtseize in the history of Magic.
It
Owen
is
has no
not.
3rd land.
Okay, so no 3rd land for Owen.
You told me
here.
there were 3 swamps in this
sorry,
hand.
well, he does have it
There
now.
are
so
now.
I made up for it, but apologies. Owen still has a grip of removal, but you got to figure
I
he's
see
just got to
Spectre.
run out the Spectre
Absolutely.
here, right? Yeah.
Yeah, this game can snowball from here very easily. Nykthos helps, but it does not cast Frostburn Weird.
Awkward. And here we go. This is
Trigger.
where things get out of hand very, very quickly.
Oh, there's the island you wanted.
Yeah,
I'll
play
take
it.
it.
Does he have another one? No.
Lifebane
he
Zombie.
doesn't. Lifebane Zombie. It only hits green and white, though, so there's nothing possible. So Owen, interestingly, bringing in Lifebane Zombies.
Interesting. He's just playing with his hand face up.
Yeah. Oh, he does draw the island now, though. And, yeah, Frostburn Weird.
Yeah, Lifebane. The thing the blue deck can't do is block a Lifebane Zombie. Like, that's a pretty fast clock against the blue deck.
Especially in this situation.
I mean, not just in this situation, in almost any situation.
It's
It allows you to race.
Yep.
I'm sure that's why it came in.
He's also got another one in his hand now.
Etherling came in. Interesting.
Oh, wow. And Owen's actually just a blue mana.
He's got one
Yeah.
island.
He's
He's like a
another blue.
Nykthos away from casting it.
And there's another Lifebane
Oh,
Zombie. He gets
jeez.
to look again.
That is a clock. It's 2 turns, right? 8 plus 8, that'll do it.
That'll do it. And that,
Domestications, but no 4th land.
but he can't find a 4th land. He's going to
Yeah,
attack
I can't
with Frostburn
block. Well, he
Weird.
can't block with it.
Right.
Weird game. Okay,
Yeah.
2nd Frostburn Weird.
Another Frostburn Weird.
Owen just turns his creature sideways twice. He's probably in the finals.
Here's
8
stage 1.
trigger. Can I have a card, please? How about a Mutavault? Yeah, I like Mutavaults.
Now he's at 6. Does Owen have a? No, he doesn't. Okay. Doomblade.
Fires a Doomblade, might as well.
He's just going to keep the board state the way it is right now.
Well, he's trying to get off Nykthos mana.
Yeah.
Or he doesn't want to let
he's
Nykthos
done.
go nuts.
That's right.
Nykthos is now only a 2 instead of being a 4.
Which means you don't actually.
It doesn't turn a profit, right?
Benefit,
Because the
right.
Doomblade means it doesn't turn a profit.
Right.
We do have a domestication. Is that enough?
I mean.
He has to take a Lifebane zombie
which
so
is
that he only
unfortunately
takes
remains
5.
tapped, right? So he's still going to take the 5.
And he can block next turn. Yeah, this is the play.
Ugh, he can't feel good about this. He is in such a bad position. Owen Turtenwald on the verge of making the finals on GPs in back-to-back weekends. And
He
there
does
it
get to
is.
block next turn, but he'll take.
Downfall.
He's going to take 5 down. Did he just devour Flesh and Pointed a guy, or
He
was that Heroes
downfalled.
Resolved?
He
Oh,
downfalled.
downfall. Okay.
And that's
There
going
you
to
go.
do it right there. Owen Turtenwald turns all his guys sideways in one quick flick, and Valentin Mackl is going to have to settle for another top 4
Yeah, that
finish at
downfall
the
cleared a
GP
path.
level.
That downfall cleared a path for a Mutavault to get the last 2 damage in.
I see.
So with
No,
no
it's not
blockers,
back to
even the Mutavault got through for the last 2 points. And
And his opponent tapped out. Owen Turtenwald saw the win, and that was going to do it. Right
Owen
there.
trying to go back to back.
High
There's the high
fives.
five with
Yep.
his buddies watching from the sidelines.
And we can take a look here at